Guys, welcome back. We got another one for you. Sorry, I have had a crazy couple of weeks, and we're back today just for a little bit because I've got another one going today. But I wanted to get on and make a video and explain the features that if these ARPGs could figure out how to steal from each other, I think we'd be in a good spot. And I'm pulling up Diablo IV, obviously, just so you guys can see. Like, I've got two characters fully leveled. I've got a Rogue, which I want to get to Trap Rogue eventually, but I kind of ran out of steam. I really don't want to log in, so I'm debating on logging back into Path of Exile 2. That being said, I've got a Necromancer that I was playing. I've got a Lightning Spear Mage, which is Sorceress, which is way faster, way more fun, to be honest with you, than Necro. But that being said, what systems does Diablo 4 do well? And this time around, guys, I gotta tell you, I actually enjoy the way that they've restructured the bosses. Okay, so they restructured the bossing so that basically, you have all your mats, right? You can just go, you can farm bosses. Obviously, I have a ton of boss mats. They've done a really good job with that. I think it's a good system. I think it makes sense. I think the way that they've done it is really, really good. I think that having it tiered up is great. The only downside that I have to some of the boss fights is the initial launch of the boss with the pushback and like the stun is the most annoying, unnecessary thing I've ever seen in a video game. No other ARPG has it, so that way when you start a boss, you just like are magically screwed. And it messes you up. It kicks you way back. It's not a good system. I just don't like it. That's the only thing I would change. Is there's no reason for them to add that. They added it in, and it's trash. Like, whoever thought of that, just fire them. That was a terrible idea. Don't do that again. But that being said, the new boss mechanic or the new seasonal mechanic is complete garbage. It's not good. It's not fun. It's not even really worth. It's actually way more worth just to literally go through and do the bosses. Like, as you can see, I don't have all the powers unlocked because I don't care. I've got the ones that I need on my pertinent characters that are all maxed out. So that being said, what I think they do really well in Diablo 4 is, to be honest, I think the way that they've switched the bossing up is really fun. It kind of tiers everything. You can port around super fast. Your speed is very, very good. It's very accessible. Obviously, the graphics, guys, Diablo 4 does a phenomenal job of graphics, so I'm not going to blame them for anything like that. What I will say, however, is what systems they need to steal, right? So they need an end game. Like, this system of like, oh, this time we have this, and this is your whole seasonal mechanic, and you go to one area and the area is trash and it sucks and it's not fun. You do it twice, you never want to do it again. They need to grow the fuck up and get creative. Okay, they have zero people who are creative on Blizzard's development team. What they should be doing is looking at, like, if you took this and you combine this, like, even do it as a seasonal mechanic where you just take the same screen but make it an Atlas passive tree, even if you take Last Epoch's, right? So, like, Last Epoch did it with the Weaver's Tree. They've got the Weaver's Tree. You can have more champions. You can have more loot lizards. You can replicate gear. You can have more champion mobs. There's just so much stuff that you can do. And to be honest, I think if they took that and combined it with PoE 1's Atlas passive tree, because PoE 2's passive tree sucks, right? But I think Last Epoch's is second best, obviously, outside of PoE 1's original one. Now, what they need in this game is a system, and they kind of hinted at it before in Diablo 3 when they did the altars. Obviously nowhere near the same thing, but the idea of, hey, you can unlock this and this gives you access to these things. Because the problem is they have Infernal Hordes. Infernal Hordes is like, you get Obdicite, that's it. So what if they had like a passive tree to where you could get Obdicite to drop from Helltide, or you could get Obdicite to drop from bosses, or you could get glyph XP or levels that just like randomly drop leveling flasks for your glyphs, or things like that, right? Things that make it so that you can kind of pick and choose the content that you want to run and actually be able to get a benefit from running said content, right? So for instance, if I wanted to go get boss mats, I could have a passive tree point, so where when I'm in Hell Tides, I'm getting those drops, or there's more treasure goblins. Like, so they did add like obol goblins. They added like the goblins that create more goblin. Like, they're doing things that make sense, right? Like, even in Last Epoch, they have the loot lizards, and then they have the loot lizard shrines. I think the shrine system in Last Epoch should be stolen by every ARPG. It's so much fun. You get to see other classes' powers. There's rewards, there's gold, there's, huge buffs, there's massive powers that you can get. It really, when you see a shrine, you get that dopamine hit. And so Last Epoch does that really well. I think their Weaver's Tree was phenomenal. I think their leveling and the way that their skill system works in Last Epoch is overall fantastic. I really think they did a great job with that. But what I'm concerned about, obviously, with Last Epoch is, like, and this, it's similar to Diablo IV, is once you hit the end game, quote unquote, like, I'm only at Paragon 175. And I've ran quite a few pits, right? Like, I don't know if I can show you. So I've ran quite a few pits. Now, obviously, I have a lot of work I can do left on my guy, right? Like, I need to go get this node. Like, my guy can literally probably triple or quadruple in power just from leveling and the Paragon points and everything else, right? And obviously some gear upgrades. But I've got, like, really lucky with my drops, right? So I got a Shroud, and I got these off of boss drops. So I got Shroud, and I got Ring of Starless Skies. I've also had a Doombringer drop, okay? That's just sitting in my bank. I had a Melted Heart of Sea League drop, which I DE'd. So, like, I've put in the hours this season. Like, you can't argue with the amount of hours I put in this season to be a lot farther behind than I normally am. And obviously, when they lowered the XP for Pit, they just lowered the level, that pit that you can comfortably clear. Like, you used to be able to clear 100, right? So you could get to Paragon 250 pretty fast. And then that was on all your tunes. I love that part. I think that's a great system. It's a feature that's similar to PoE2 with the map. Like, once you have the map open, you can plug whatever level map you want. So if you get a new tune, you can plug in lower level maps, right? But you still have access to your whole tree. I think that system's phenomenal. I think the Atlas map system in PoE2, the premise of it is going to be ridiculous if they can figure out how to obviously add more cool shit, right? Because right now it's basically run a map and and hope, because the Atlas passive tree sucks, and they don't have things like Blight. They don't have, like, they just need more stuff. With Diablo 4, they don't have any real cool game mechanics. It's go spam kill monsters here, go spam kill monsters here, go spam kill monsters here, or kill the boss. That's their entire thing. Oh, and then every season we're just going to give you different powers that help you spam kill the monsters faster. The runes, I have not sold a single rune. And I'll show you guys all my runes. I have not sold a single rune. I've done the tributes. I've done all that. This is literally all the runes that I have. This is it. Notice something: 0 legendary runes. Okay? The runes in this game are almost impossible to get, making it really ruins the idea of how to get your mythic uniques, like, and targeting them and getting the specific ones you want. It makes it unbelievably hard, right? The only thing that I've sold this entire season, the reason I have 300 million gold, is I sold a perfect affix that dropped that I already had, like a great feast, for like 200 million gold. So, I've got that. But other than that, guys, like, you're not going to upgrade your gems all the way, which I'm fine with, right? It takes a long time. It's a little bit of power. It gives the grinders something to go. But the issue is, the grinders aren't playing this game because once you get to a certain point, you don't want to anymore. Like, I'm at the point now where I could get on my spin to win rogue. I can get them up to level 60. I have the gear. Like, it'll take me, an hour to get the gear to switch to Death Trap, because there's a couple of uniques that you need, which you can easily farm, right? And I don't have a Shaco, but I have the Ring of Starless Skies. I have everything else. I can easily switch to Death Trap, right? So I can go do that, and then I can spam pits, but the problem is, for what? Right? Like, just for the Paragon levels. That's the only thing. And so you're literally just spamming the same content over and over and over and over and over. And then you go to Infernal Hordes, and you're just running in a circle killing mobs. And again, I like Infernal Hordes. It's a cool little system. I like the Pit. It's a cool little system. I like Helltide. It's a cool little system. But overall, there's nothing different. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting. There's no, like, the shipments of Kalgor, right? Like the build your own city thing. Even the Necropolis, where you had to do the bury all the fucking different things to try to craft gear. There's no crafting in this game, right? Like, it's basically temper, masterwork, you're done. You can't really fuck with shit. Last Epoch has by far the best crafting system in an ARPG, including PoE 1. Fight me. It's not overly complicated. It's very straightforward. It's got a gamble mechanic. It's fun. I enjoy Last Epoch's crafting system better than every other game that I played. So we take their crafting system, we take hints from the Atlas passive trees from PoE 1 and Last Epoch, we take the Atlas map from PoE 2, we take seasonal boss powers or the boss kind of layer system where you can port to bosses and kind of just, if you're a boss grinder and you like killing bosses, you could just go kill bosses, right? You can go farm a bunch of mats and kill a shit ton of bosses. These are styles of play and fun things that if we actually were stealing from each other, we would be in a really good spot. The reason that Last Epoch season did so well and that everybody raved about it was because they took a proven system from PoE 1 and said, hey, we're not gonna copy this. We're gonna take it. Here's the premise of it. We want to make it our own. And they did a great job. And obviously, that will only get better with time. What they need to do next is create different game modes, right? Like, they have Arena in Last Epoch. They have the little Weaver's Tree with the different maps, which is fun, right? They have the cool Shrine map. They have the Uber Aberoth map. They have where you fight all the Harbingers map, right? Like, there's so many different things that they've done that I think they can build on and really come up with some cool shit. But to be honest, the reason that PoE 1 stands above the rest, and this is my opinion, right? But the reason that PoE 1 stands above the rest to me is the fact that it has the most unique play styles of any game that I've ever played. If you want to create an entire character around going and fighting bosses, you could do that. If you want to create a strongbox mapper, right? Like, there's different specs that are so good at different things that, like, you say, hey, this is a really fun game mode for me. Like, every season that I play PoE 1, strongboxes are like my favorite thing. It's just fun for me. You go in, you see 30 strong boxes, and you get that gamble, right? PoE 2 has that really cool strong box that, like, you can gamble at, which PoE 1 needs to steal, by the way. But it's not even anywhere near the same, right? And so these are things that, like, PoE 1 has so many cool systems between Blight, between, their expedition, between strongbox farming, between all the different trials and saying, like, there's just so many things that you can get good at and spend time doing for different styles of rewards and gameplay that I love it. With Diablo 4, you're basically like, you just want to build that can spam farm because all you have to do is just join a group and let one guy murder all the bosses and you just stand there and collect all the loot. Like, there's not really any strategy in it, right? Like, even at Torment 4, like, yeah, are some of the bosses tough? Well, yeah, they're tough because they hit you hard, but, like, it's a very simple thing. And then they have gated phases, which I don't like either, right? Like, there's so much that I think Diablo 4 could take from Last Epoch, and Last Epoch could take from PoE 2 and PoE 1. And PoE 1, or I'm sorry, PoE 1's goated. PoE 2 could take from, little hits from Diablo, little hits from Last Epoch. And this is what overall brings the content of these games high. And that's where I think they need to go. Because, to be honest, guys, like, I started off, there's a lot of things that I don't like about this season. But to be honest with you, if we hadn't had, I always think about it this way. If we hadn't had Season 2, season 6, season 7, season 8, where it's all the same exact style of mechanic. Like, here's your little power, and then you could just juice that one little power. Like, this season by itself is just an implementation of boss ladders, a shittier version of Helltide, right, which is trash, and then boss power, and then like your boss powers. That's it. Like, so if we hadn't had all the previous seasons with the boss powers or with the powers in general, I think this season wouldn't be that bad. But here's what I don't like that Blizzard's doing is I feel like what they're doing is they're saying, hey, this mode sucks. Nobody wants to spam Duriel 400 times. So let's make Duriel knock everybody back, have phases, gatekeep all the boss content, and then it'll just take longer before you get to do the same thing. But like, your builds aren't changing. There's no added bonus for doing it at a higher level. You don't get more shit. You don't get like PoE 2, there's certain difficulties where you can unlock certain pieces of gear. So it incentivizes you to want to go do the hardest content in the game because that's where you get the flask, that's where you get the belt, that's where you get the sword, that's where you, right? Like, you have to kill this boss on, you know, the highest level, like, right, like level 8, right? You have to kill this boss, or the whatever the guy is, the Endgame boss. You have to kill him on like the 3rd or 4th difficulty to even have a shot at this piece of gear dropping. And then if it drops, you can sell it for eternity and make a shitload of money. With Diablo 4, their trading system is off. Like, they use third-party websites to trade. It's fucking janky. Last Epoch, their endgame systems with Circle of Fortune and Merchant's Guild is the best one. It allows you to not just flip items all day. Like, if you buy a piece, you can't resell it, right? Like, the Circle of Fortune rewards you if you want to be a solo self-found player, which is what I did this season, and I fucking loved it. Like, there's just so much cool shit that you can adapt to how you want to play the game, whether you want to play alone, whether you want to trade, etc. With Diablo 4, it's just go smash monsters as fast as you can in circles, right? And then there's no reward. Like, what you get on Torment 1 is the same shit you get on Torment 4. It's the same shit. You just, like, it is. Obviously, there's XP and there's bonuses, but like, there's no exclusive piece of gear. There's no chase items. There's no, hey, if you kill Belial on Torment 4, you have a chance, like a 5% chance of getting this thing to drop, right? Because there's just no, like, and that thing makes it so that like you could build a guy that just clears whatever, right? Like, there's no real strategy to make it better. And so I think in a perfect world right now, guys, and obviously the benefit of the last 5 weeks in ARPGs is we've had all of the big dogs come out, right? Like, so PoE 2, Last Epoch, and Diablo 4 all came out with new seasons. So we got to taste and test with relative remembrance and nuance from the other games of, oh man, I really like this part of this game, or I really like this part of this game. And so it gives us a really unique perspective to be able to sit down and say, okay, what are the parts of every game that I like, and what parts of these games would make this game so much better? And I feel like, guys, all of them can get better collectively by stealing from each other. And again, when I say stealing, I mean ethical stealing, right? I mean, you take the idea and you make it your own. How Last Epoch did it with the Weaver's Tree, perfect example if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But these are the things that I think we need in this genre. These are the games, right? We know what the big games are. We know what the big names are. Let's build these things up and make them better as a community. What are some features, guys, that you see in these different games that you really like or wish would put in, and how would you implement them? Because I would love to read some of your guys' comments and maybe do a video on that of like some of your guys' thoughts on what to do. But to me, I think we have so much potential in all these games, but specifically Last Epoch and PoE 2 have so much potential, and Blizzard just needs to get way more creative. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.